Okay, friends. Hi, hello, welcome. This is my 4th time trying to record this video. So let's see if it goes well this time. My phone has shut down. Stanley has been flying all over my room. If you don't know who Stanley is, that's my bird, technically my sister's bird, but we spend a lot of time together. So my sister took him finally. So let's see if this video goes as planned and actually records the whole thing. So, welcome. Today, if you can't tell already by the title of this video, I'm doing an introduction / about me style video. So that's because I just haven't formally introduced myself on this platform yet. If you do follow my Instagram, Being Real, I'll put the little thing right here. I have done an intro there because that's probably the platform that I'm using the most right now. But I'm hoping to start using YouTube for kind of what I eat in a day / week in my life / vlogging style things, just because that's stuff that I really enjoy watching. So hopefully I'll get started and start doing some stuff like that when my life is actually a little bit more interesting, because right now it's not. So let's get started. Firstly, I am 22. I live in Canada, and I just finished school, kind of. So technically I finished my bachelor's degree in child and youth studies. But I mean, not technically, I did do that, but technically I'm not done school, depending on how you look at it. So I was in a concurrent education program, which means that it's the 4 years of your degree and then 2 years of teacher's college, all in one program. Obviously I did the 4 years, but I did decide to take a year off after that. Which is this coming year. So this is the first time I won't be in school, which is very weird for me. I talk again a lot about that on my Instagram, because that's been like pretty much the biggest thing influencing my life right now. But anyways, so yes, I decided to take a year off. Technically what I did was I deferred my 5th year, so my first year of teacher's college, to fall 2021. That way I could just kind of leave my options open, so if I wanted to, I could continue through to teacher's college without reapplying. But if I wanted to, I could also choose to apply to graduate at some point throughout this year and then kind of take my path somewhere else. So I did that for a few reasons, mostly financial reasons. Also, one of the big reasons was that my passion just like wasn't there. I just wanted to figure my shit out, basically. I feel like there's so many things out there and I just don't know about any of them because I've always kind of been in this like one-track mind. So I just wanted to focus on myself and focus on the present, because I am someone who really thinks like 5 years down the road all the time. So I just wanted to be able to kind of like work a job that I like and like focus on what's kind of right in front of me. So that's that. Also, like, how many times have I said in this whole video? Like, maybe I should make a tracker. Cool. But a little bit more about me. I come from a family of 5. So there's me, my mom, my dad, and then my 2 sisters. A little bit of a mixed family dynamic, but I feel like that's a story for a different time. Like, I would talk for a frickin' 15 minutes about it if I tried to right now. But my sisters are in grade 8 and grade 9. So they are like my best friends. I mean, being in quarantine, we've kind of argued a lot, as any family would, but they are a huge part of my life. I'm very much like a family and friends centered person. I love to just kind of like be around the people that I love. Yeah, that's my family. We also have a dog, a cat, and a bird. So technically, nothing's technical. We have a dog, a cat, and a bird. Meow Meow is our cat. His name was actually Harley. I named him when we got him, oh gosh, I don't know how many years ago now. A long time ago. And then our dog is Bill, or Mr. Bill. And then there's Stanley, who is technically my sister, like the middle sister's bird. But him and I, like I said, we hang out all the time. He's kind of my little buddy, which is funny because I was / am terrified of birds, especially like geese, like not a fan. So I wasn't exactly like the first person excited about it, but we kind of ended up bonding, and he's a sweetheart, and I give him like head scratches and stuff all the time. So, I am also born in June, so I am a Cancer. I'm kind of on the cusp of Gemini and Cancer, but definitely have Cancer qualities. I don't know a huge ton about astrology. But everything that I read and everything that I've heard of, I am very much what a Cancer embodies. So if you've read anything anywhere, the first things that they say are that Cancers are sensitive and emotional. Great. We love when we're like represented so positively. No, but actually I am sensitive and emotional. And those aren't bad things. I mean, like, I grew up my whole life thinking that they were terrible things, but I don't know. I feel like if you know how to use it and you're aware of yourself, then they can be really rewarding things, because I think that it makes us as in Cancers very caring and genuine people. So I don't know. That's what they tell me. So we'll go with that. A few other things. I am very grateful to live in Canada because I genuinely love all 4 seasons. And I say that, but like, yes, I complain about the cold, and like, yes, I complain about the heat. Like, you can't really win, but I do like that we have 4 seasons. So I feel like by the end of summer, I'm like ready to start wearing jeans again. And then like by the end of winter, I'm like, please let it be warm. Like, I want to go to a beach. So I think that that's like a really nice aspect of where I live. Yes, the winters are very cold, but they could be colder in other areas. So I feel like it's not the worst thing. I love snow, so if it's cold, I would prefer that there's snow, because I feel like that's what makes it worth it, just because I like to look at the snow. So I wrote down a few other things that are funny. One of them is that I say everything is my favorite. That is correct. So if we're like having dinner or something, I'm like, oh, green beans are my favorite. Oh my God, I just love cinnamon. Like, you know, like everything is my favorite, which again, we love to radiate positivity. So I feel like that's better than being like, oh, I hate like asparagus. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's fine. Does it accurately mean that those things are all my favorite? No. But here we are. At least we're positive vibes rather than negative vibes. That's what I always say. So that's pretty cool. A little bit more of a like, I guess like not important, but like heavy topic, which honestly I would like totally make a whole video about if people are actually interested. So let me know in the comments if this is something that you're interested in, because I feel like there's a lot to say about it. But I live with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. I say it like it's like debilitating, which it can be for a lot of people. It's not really for me, so I'm very grateful for that. But essentially, arthritis is like inflammation of the joints. So a lot of people think of it in older people, and that's specifically osteoarthritis. So that's just because older people, their joints get weak, and then they develop inflammation, that kind of thing. But the juvenile is obviously because I developed it young. So I was diagnosed, I want to say like 18 months or so. So I've basically had it my whole life. So yeah, it just means that like the arthritis essentially attacks my joints. It's primarily in my knees and my ankles, but technically it is in pretty much all of my joints. I'm now on medication that sustains that, so I'm very grateful for that. But it is injections, and so that is honestly a pretty big part of my life, because I'm pretty scared of needles, and I have to self-inject twice a week. So that's like a little bit of a battle that I go through that I don't really talk about very much. So if you are interested, I could definitely like answer any questions and kind of do a whole video on that, because it is like very much a big chunk of like what I've gone through my whole life. And obviously, like I said, it's not a huge deal. Like, I'm very grateful for my body and all of that, but it definitely does impact like the way that I move and that kind of thing. So if anybody's interested, I can do a video on that. Another thing, I absolutely love tea. I do love coffee as well. I specifically love the smell of coffee. I just can't drink regular coffee because I'd go crazy. No, because I'm quite an anxious person, and I feel the effects of coffee very physically. So if I drink coffee, like my heart rate is just like through the roof, and yeah, like we'll end it at that, but like it gets pretty bad. So I can only drink decaf coffee, but I do love coffee and coffee drinks and Starbucks a lot. I'm always switching up what I drink, so a go-to for me is a London Fog because I love Earl Grey. But I also like love a good pumpkin spice latte, which obviously I get decaf. But yeah, so I'm a big like drink gal. That's really my vibe. We love it in fall, comfy, cozy vibe. Anyways, so that's pretty much all that I wrote about myself. I'm sure there's more, like obviously there's a lot to me, but I also wanted to save it because on my Instagram I asked my followers if they had any questions for me, so I'm gonna dive into that now. I wanted to give kind of like an overview of like things that I think kind of identify me and my personality, but I'm also interested to see what people specifically wanted to know about me, so I'll dive into those questions now. So first question was, what is my favorite food? This is funny because I love food. Like I just love food. And again, if you ask my parents, they would say that like everything is my favorite, and I really do say that a lot. Like my mom is a really good cook. We always have like really well thought out and really like delicious meals. We eat, I would say 99% vegetarian in my house, just because my sister's vegetarian. Yeah, we eat a lot of vegetarian meals, and my mom just like cooks fantastic. But still to this day, one of my favorite foods is her homemade pizza. So I would say that's my favorite meal, because I feel like there's a difference between favorite meal and favorite food. So my favorite meal is her homemade pizza. There's two that I really love. So she used to always make, this is not vegetarian, but she used to always make a barbecue chicken pizza. So with barbecue sauce instead of tomato sauce, and then like chicken, caramelized onions, sometimes bacon and feta cheese. So good. Oh, and also like mozzarella, obviously. And then my dad makes this really good pizza. Okay. Like it sounds really weird, and he really made it like on a limb one night, but like this is like my favorite shit in the whole world. So it's Caesar salad dressing as the base on the dough. Also, like we typically just buy the dough instead of like the crusts, or now my mom makes the dough because like she's that freaking good. So it's Caesar salad dressing and then mozzarella cheese and then thinly sliced salami, not spicy salami because I don't like spicy salami, and halved cherry tomatoes and then sometimes onions on that as well. And then like a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese on top and salt and pepper. And like there's just something about the Caesar salad dressing with the tomato. Like I'm not one for tomatoes on pizza. Like I don't love cherry tomatoes as is, but like there's just something about that pizza is just to die for. So those are my two favorite pizzas. Favorite meal would be like homemade pizza. Also because I just like love the vibe that brings for my family at night. But aside from that, favorite food would probably be ice cream, because like I'm an ice cream fanatic, like die-hard ice cream fan. Like you want to go for ice cream in the middle of winter, like call me up and I will go with you. Like no question about it. If I don't want ice cream, it's probably because I'm sick. So just always down for ice cream. What is my favorite ice cream? Who frickin' knows? It depends where I go. I love a chocolate peanut butter typically, but honestly, I switch it up. Depends, like Dairy Queen, marble slab, whatever. Like love it all. Anyways, so that's favorite food. The next question I had was, what are my career/life aspirations? So this is a funny question because I feel like the answer to this has changed so drastically within the past 6 months. Like even a little bit longer than that, but I would say like quarantine really made me like look my life in the mirror and frickin' like rethink everything. Which I'm sure it did for a lot of people, but yeah. So as I said, I obviously decided to take a year off before teachers college, and that was, I'd say probably like November to January, like November 2019 to January 2020. That was a big decision for me. It was like, hey, I don't really feel like I want to be a teacher anymore. I don't really feel passionate about it. Like compared to all these other people in my program, like that's not a strong desire like it is for these other people that I see. What am I going to do about that? Blah, blah, blah. Like trying to figure out if I wanted to take a year off or not was huge for me, just because I'm someone who likes to people please. I'm someone who has always kind of like followed the trajectory of how your life is supposed to be, which I don't believe in, but just like naturally that's like how I followed, like how I pursued my life, if that makes sense. So a lot of people still see me as a teacher and wanting to be a teacher. Right now, at this current moment in my life, I don't see myself doing that. Who knows? Again, like, I don't like to plan out my life because realistically, I feel like you just can't. Like, if quarantine has taught us anything, it's that you have plans, you have dreams, and sometimes they get put on hold. So right now, and like I said, like literally would not have thought of this until like 5 months ago kind of thing. It was actually Rachel Hollis's Girl Stop Apologizing book that inspired me to like really think things through and like, I don't know, like dive into like the body acceptance community, like that kind of thing. I started finding more people on Instagram, whatever. And now, like realistically, what my dream would be to like have my own business or my own brand. Basically to be my own boss. I just think there's so many appealing things about that. I have always loved the flexibility and freedom of like being able to work wherever. I've never really had that because I've never really worked like an at-home or remote kind of job. And again, like whether that means that I like build this brand to that point or not, whether it means that I like work for someone else but it's kind of remote, I don't know. Ideally, I would love to be my own boss, whether that means I start like a small business. I don't know. I don't exactly know what that looks like for me right now. But I'd love to be my own boss or like have the flexibility of kind of working from wherever and whenever. And I want to make an impact on people's lives. So those are kind of my two biggest things right now. I just want to make a difference in people's lives. I want to teach people the things that I have learned. And I want to make people feel happy and like help people realize that they have control over their own lives. So that's really important to me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Life aspirations, like to travel a fuck ton. Like I really, really want to travel. Obviously that's a little bit put on hold right now because of COVID. That's huge for me. But that question also went kind of alongside with the next one, which was where do you see yourself in 5 years? Again, I feel like I just like literally can't plan that because I just have no idea. Hopefully not living with my parents, not that I don't love to live here and I like am very much grateful for this space, but I am very excited to kind of get my own place again and start fresh, whether that be like with a partner or a friend or myself or whatever, and where, I have no idea, but I would love to have my own place, like just a little apartment or something is fine. Maybe a pet because I love animals. But yeah, aside from that, like I just want to be happy. Like mostly I'm focused on like mentally where will I be in 5 years, and for me like that's just a stronger person, a more courageous person, have more understanding of myself and be happier and kind of have more control over my anxiety and my happiness and that kind of thing. So I feel like I am in a really good place with that right now, but there's always room to grow literally your whole life. So that's like what's most important to me is kind of being able to build that. And then I guess also like having some clarity on what I want to do with my life would be nice in 5 years or less, hopefully less. Because right now I genuinely don't know and I have no idea. And that's like a very weird spot because again, like I said, like my whole life I've always kind of known where I wanted to go. So that's very stressful for me right now, but hopefully I get that clarity within like the next few years and just, I don't know, I truly believe that things kind of work out the way that they're meant to, so we'll have to see with that. But yeah, that kind of answers the like career aspirations, but also where do you see yourself in 5 years? The short answer is I have no idea, so that's not helpful, but there you go. Okay, next question is, what are my opinions on body image? So this is a loaded question, and I feel like I could do a whole video on this. I think the more that we focus on how we physically look, the more that we're wasting energy on things that could actually make us happy. Honestly, like I can't really vouch for that because I've always kind of lived in a very similar kind of body, but people who have like fluctuated through weight gain and weight loss and that kind of thing, they say that like, yeah, like their larger body wanted to be in a thinner body, but then when they were in the thinner body, they weren't actually any happier. Like, the thing is, like, we just spend so much of our life and our energy focusing on how our body looks. And I think that that takes the energy away from the things that truly matter, which is more so how we feel, and mentally, physically, emotionally, how do we feel? So I feel like body image is a big one. I think that almost everybody struggles with body image issues, regardless of what shape or size body you're in. I do think we live in a very fat-phobic society, so I think that that's very important to address as well. Again, I could do a whole freaking video on that. But essentially, society tells us that the smaller that our body is, the more worthy we are. And I think that's fucked up. And I think that's fake. And I think that's false. Because I think that you can't determine someone's health based on how their body physically looks. So again, the next question is kind of similar. So it's what are your... Oh my gosh, I can't read. What is wellness to you? So same kind of thing. Like, basically, I think that wellness is holistic. So I feel like you cannot be just physically fit and be well and be healthy. But we hold so much power onto that specific, like, physical fitness. And so I feel like that's where a lot of body image issues stem from, is that we don't talk about mental or emotional or spiritual wellness like we talk about physical wellness. And so then we deem certain body types as fit or healthy and certain body types as unhealthy. And I think that that's very dangerous, because that causes a lot of body image issues and a lot of eating disorders and a lot of just terrible things. So I personally feel like wellness is almost more importantly mental wellness, because I think like they all kind of impact each other. But I think if you are mentally well and you have a goal that you want to, say, feel better and eat a little bit cleaner, again, personally, that looks very different for everybody. So I could freaking talk for hours on that. I think if you have the right mindset going into kind of feeling better or eating more clean, if you're doing it for the right reasons, then it can be successful. But I feel like if you're kind of like hating on your body and choosing to filter all your energy negatively, then you're never actually going to meet a goal that you want. And then, therefore, you're not actually healthy, because mentally, you're just beating yourself up. You're just hating on yourself. Like, so you're never going to actually develop that wellness, because you might think that you're well because, hey, you're skinny and you have abs, but that's not what being well is. I think it's important to understand your mind and how your body works and that kind of thing. Understanding that exercise doesn't always have to look like a structured gym workout, and stuff like that. So I just think like there's so much I could say about that, but moral of the story is wellness is holistic. So that includes physical, emotional, social, also important. What did I say? Physical, emotional, social, mental, and spiritual well-being. I think those are all of them. I don't remember exactly. But that's all important to being well or being healthy. So you can't have one without the other. They're all intertwined. As for opinions on body image, again, moral of the story is your body is not your worth. Health can exist at any size, and that's that. We need to stop focusing so much on telling people how they need to look, and we need to focus less on how we look and more on how we feel. That's the gist of it. Again, I could rant for like 3 hours, but that's the gist of it. So we'll move on. Next question is a little bit more lighthearted. What is my favorite clothing brand? I feel like I don't have like a die-hard brand per se. Right now, I have been finding that I'm wearing a lot of Aerie, H&M, that kind of thing. This sweater and literally my shorts are H&M, so I don't typically wear that much H&M in one sitting, but they just so happen to be. Again, I'm really loving Aerie because they're just so comfy and cozy. I am making more of an effort to thrift shop and to kind of like buy more secondhand or more sustainable options. I don't have a ton of patience for thrift shopping, so I'm working on that. But yeah, I would say I typically shop mostly American Eagle, Aerie, H&M right now, a little bit of Garage here and there, but less and less as we go on. Dynamite a little bit. Yeah, kind of depends. So those are probably my favorites right now. But again, like, I'm trying to consciously make the shift into more sustainable options or more local options, because I really love like local shopping. I love like Etsy kind of tops and stuff like that. Like, that's my favorite right now. So again, if anybody has any suggestions, put them down in the comments. I would love to check them out. Dream job is the next question. Honestly, like, I kind of answered this before in my like career aspirations segment. I don't really know. My dream job would be to be able to build this brand large enough that I have a community of people who trust me and who I can learn from and who can learn from me. I've kind of taken an interest in confidence coaching and that kind of thing. So that would be really, really cool. Something along the line of like any type of coaching, positivity coaching, confidence coaching, stuff like that. And yeah, being able to like build my own brand and stand for realness and positivity and empowerment. That would be my dream job right now, because like I've just kind of put so much of my energy and focus on that. And that's just kind of everything that I've ever loved and stood for, but like in a job, which I think is so cool. But again, I don't know what's out there. So I feel like it's important to kind of explore and keep my options open. Do I have kids or am I married? No. No and no. I live with my parents. LOL. No, I'm 22. A lot of people are getting married. A lot of people are having kids. No judgment there. But I'm nowhere near ready to do that for myself. I just don't see myself doing that right now. I want to really travel. I want to focus on like my self-growth. I think you can totally do that in a relationship. So I'm not like opposed to that, obviously. But marriage, I feel like that like settling in that way is just like not where I'm at right now in my life. And I really would like to be able to enjoy my life with a partner before having kids also. Again, you can't plan your life, but that's my ideal situation. So no. Next question is about my glasses. We love them. Do I wear contacts? No, those are scary. I'm terrified of eyes. I'm terrified of things going in my eye. I'm just like kind of weird about that. I don't wear these glasses all the time. Kind of depends. I wear them like they're specifically for computer work. And I need them kind of to read too, like when I read before bed. But I don't need to wear them all the time, and I can do those things without them. They just help to relieve like my eye strain. So they are prescription, but it's not a very strong prescription. And as you can tell when I keep moving, these ones are blue light, so that's why it's kind of like orange underneath. But yes, so all of the ones that I just got are blue light. Maybe we'll do a little try on haul for you. Because I got a bunch of pairs from iBuyDirect. This is not sponsored. I wish it was. But a few people I know ordered from iBuyDirect, and literally it was so cheap. So my last like month of insurance that I had, I was like, let's get some new glasses because I needed some new ones anyways, and I had a new prescription. So I was able to order 4 glasses with my insurance coverage, which is pretty good. So let's do a little try on haul for you. Okay, so obviously these are the first pair. They're matte. They have the nice, sleek, really thin arm here, which is important to me because when I'm wearing glasses all day, they like hurt the back of my ears. And then next ones I got were these matte clear ones because I really wanted a pair of clear ones. But I feel like sometimes the shiny ones can look a little bit cheap sometimes. So I like these ones. A lot of people that I've shown them to don't like these ones as much, but I don't really care. So that's these ones. Also, like, do you love that I literally have my hair in a messy ponytail and haven't put on makeup today? If you've seen my cottage vlog, you know that I kind of don't really care. My platform is all about like being real, so I feel like there's no point in me kind of trying to be like a put together version of myself for you, because that's just not realistic. So, and then these are the other pair. My friend was the one who kind of convinced me to get these ones. They're like grandpa glasses. They're rose gold, these ones in particular. And then they have the kind of tortoise shell vibe here too. And then the sunglasses that I got are just one of their designs with my prescription, and then I just put the like sunglass tint on top. Very similar to the last pair. I love these. I'm like feel very bougie. They also have the tortoise shell here, and then this really like thin vibe here. So yeah, I got all of those pairs of glasses for like pretty much all covered by my insurance. I maybe paid a few dollars extra. So that was pretty cool. Next question is, do I have tattoos and piercings? I mean, you can kind of already tell. I have my nose pierced. Funny story, not really that funny, but everybody told me not to get my nose pierced. They were like, it doesn't suit you, it's not your vibe, whatever. And I was like, screw it, I really wanted it, so I got it pierced with a stud. I didn't start out with a hoop, but what I really wanted was the hoop. And then even when I did have it pierced, people were like, no, keep the stud, like the hoop's not really like for you. And I'm obsessed with the hoop. Like it really just makes me happy, makes me more confident, and I love it. And then I have LOL, I only have an earring in the second hole, which is very weird, but don't ask why. So I have my firsts and seconds on both ears, and then my cartilage pierced here, which has a keloid, so that's fun. And then tattoos, I have this one right here. It looks twisted like that, but it's not twisted when I hold it up to myself, but it's a Roman numeral number 3. And then I have this one, which I've also done a post about on my Instagram. It's hard to see there. It says keep shining, and it's in handwriting, which is very cool. I love this one because it's like thin, like single needle, which is really my style. I know it's like really in right now, but I just love how like minimalist it is. And they're both from different places, and the question wasn't asked, but I have plans to get 10 million more tattoos because I really love them. So that wasn't part of the question, but I'll go ahead and say it because if I was someone watching this video, I would wonder if the person is trying to get more tattoos, and I'm trying to get more tattoos. So I'm like, Venmo me so I can get more tattoos. Just kidding. But yes, that's really the only reason I haven't yet, is just not my financial priority right now. But I do want more, so that's in my future. Okay, don't mind me. I already low-key ended this video, but I got a few more questions, and so I wanted to come back and record a few more answers just because they were good questions. Why the heck not? Also, don't mind the water on my shirt or on my sweater because I'm always spilling water on myself, so. Maybe because I drink out of something so freaking large. Okay, so if I could describe my aesthetic in 3 words, what would they be? Okay, I love this question, but I hate this question because I literally have been thinking for so long about what it would be, and I don't know. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just come up with it on the spot. I would say right now my aesthetic, like in terms of like things that like appeal to me visually and like that kind of thing, I would say minimalist, because I just like love less of everything. Like I just redid these shelves because there was so much stuff on them. I also had like a unit here that I got rid of because I was just like annoyed that there was so much clutter in my room. So I just like am loving kind of the very simplistic vibes of things. So I would say minimalist, clean, and fresh, maybe. Like even like thinking about like the smells that I like I love like cotton or like flowers or fresh air, fresh water, like that kind of shit. Like I just like, that's my vibe. So I would say minimalist, clean, and fresh would probably be like my aesthetic right now in terms of like if I'm on Pinterest, like things that make me happy, but like also I love like edgy outfits and like stuff like that. So I guess like depends on what we're talking about, but I'm gonna stick with that just so that it's not a 10-minute long answer. But I really like that question, and I'm really gonna keep thinking about that, I feel like. What is my biggest pet peeve? This was an easy answer for me. I feel like people are always like, oh, people who walk slow, people who chew with their mouth open. Like, those things bug me. But I think like the thing that annoys me most that I just like can't understand is lying. So people who lie are my pet peeve. I just like cannot comprehend. Like I've kind of gotten to the point in my life where I'm like, if you like don't like something I did or did something wrong or what, like I would just rather like chat about it. Like let's communicate openly. Like there's no reason for lying. Like if you lie, then I just feel like I never know if I can trust you again. So then it's just like that just like puts a damper on any type of relationship. So yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve. Like I don't know. If anything, be like, oh, I'm not comfortable talking about that, or I don't know that like I want to have that conversation right now, or whatever. Like I get that, but like don't lie to me. You know what I mean? Like just don't mess with me. I just don't like that. So yeah. My favorite memory of 2020. So this is funny because like 2020's been in quarantine, obviously. And I also like couldn't come up with an answer for this, so I was like, I'll think of it on the spot. That's a really good idea, Bean, because now I'm sitting here and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know what to say. Oh, now I remember what I was gonna say. Honestly, I would say my favorite memory of 2020 was going to the cottage with my friends. That's like a very typical answer, and like really, I'm like, I don't know why it took me 3 hours to think of it. Because honestly, like it was just like the perfect break I needed, the perfect amount of socialization. I have been very much anxious about COVID and like just very hesitant to like hang out with friends, that kind of thing. So I was grateful because we did it in such a safe way and I didn't feel worried about it. So I felt very safe. And that was huge for me. So it was kind of like exactly what I needed and like done the best way possible, if that makes sense. And we were only there for like 3 days, but honestly, like it was such a good time. I met some new people. I made some great connections. Like I had fun. I laughed. I drank. I just like hung out with my friends. Like it was just what I really needed, if that makes sense. So that would be my favorite memory, even though it took me 13 years to think of it. Cool. And then the last question was, what was the last thing that made me smile? This is like, I literally smiled making this video. So like, that's the last thing that made me smile, technically. This is funny because this question came in and I literally was just thinking today about how I wanted to start doing a like regular segment on my story, asking people like something that made them smile today, just because like, I think that that's important to sit down and like think about. I don't know. Sometimes it's the little things and we forget about them. I would say probably the last thing that made me smile was Stanley, which sounds like really silly, but like literally just like him sitting with me just like makes me smile. Actually, also what made me smile was waking up and seeing my sunflowers. I'll show them to you real quick. Look how freaking pretty. Don't look at that laundry. Yeah, I just bought those on the weekend for myself and I just love them because they're so pretty. So and then the last question that I got, what or who inspired me to start my Being Real page, which again is my Instagram. It's hard to say because I think that a lot of what was inspiring to me was in quarantine. Like I said, when I started reading Rachel Hollis's Girl Stop Apologizing book, that really got me thinking. At the same time, I was also diving into more body acceptance communities on Instagram. So before I had started my own page, I was following other accounts that were very like body accepting, self-loving, personal development, that kind of thing. I refrain from using the term body positivity just because I feel like I'm not someone who can use that term. I, again, could get into that forever, but it's more so for marginalized bodies, and I can like be grateful for the fact that I am not living in a marginalized body. Yes, I still have body image issues, and I struggle with that, and I'm working on my confidence, but that term I feel like is kind of set aside for those in more marginalized bodies, so that's why I avoid using it. But yeah, I started following accounts like Mick Zazon, Nicole Zajac, The Bird's Papaya. Those are just a few of the accounts that I started to follow that really just, don't know, they just like made me feel like a normal person. Like they made me feel real in the body that I have. And I like really grew up my whole life kind of hating the body that I lived in. I always stood out with my friends, I found, because all my friends kind of had a similar body type, which was much different from mine. And so they really helped me to just kind of accept that and love those parts of myself. And even like other things, like Mick talks a lot about acne and that kind of thing, and just normalizing all of that, which was very cool to me. So that by like looking through other people's feeds and pages and stuff like that, it really made me feel like, I don't know, part of a community and like I meant something. I also did this girls' night in event with Raw Beauty Talks and with my friend Emily, and that was like so empowering, and I just loved it. And like they talked about all like girl talk kind of stuff, body image, just everything, and like just learning about stuff like that and putting myself in communities like that just made me feel so good. And I was like, you know what, like I want to be able to do that for other people too. I just feel like I've spent so much of my life like focusing on the negative parts of myself, and I feel like I kind of had this shift within quarantine, and I really want to be able to help others have that shift and really be happy, love themselves, recognize like the things that their body does for them, and also like just control their own lives and create a life for themselves that they're excited about. So that's kind of what inspired me mostly. But yeah, I guess like kind of been like a long time coming, I guess. I don't know. I've been talking about doing something like this for a while. So yeah, that's the last question that I have. So if you have any more questions for me, feel free to leave a comment on this video. I will totally answer any question. Obviously, I don't have that many subscribers right now, so like I feel like if you do have a question, I got time to answer it. Like I don't mind. But yeah, if not, liking this video really helps me out. This is funny because my friends and I are always like, we send each other hauls and we're like, hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and then we're always like, comment and subscribe and turn on those post notifications. So it feels funny to like actually make a YouTube video, and like I feel like I should say those things because like that obviously is helpful, but like it's just funny because I like really make fun of people who say that. But like it is also true, like comment and subscribe and turn on those post notifications. Just kidding. Like do that if you want, but also if you don't want, that's fine. I do encourage you to follow my Instagram because that is where I'm spending a lot of my time right now, filtering a lot of my energy. And I'm really just working on creating a positive space for people and being real and encouraging other people to do the same. So that's that for today's video. If there's more that you want to see from me, send me a message on Instagram, give me a comment, whatever. I'm really open to meeting new people, so I kind of want to see where this goes. But yeah, that is it for today's video. And I guess I'll see you next time. Bye!